The Lannister army attacks Winterfell. What happens next will shock you. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about one of the most controversial episodes in Game of Thrones history. In this episode, the Lannister army, led by Jaime Lannister, arrives at Winterfell and attacks the Northerners, who are preparing for the long night with the army of the dead. But the events that unfold in this battle will change the course of the series forever. Will the Northerners win? Will Cersei finally get what is coming to her? And what shocking event will take place during the battle that will leave us all in suspense? We'll find out today. But before we do, don't forget to leave a like for more great Game of Thrones videos. Let's jump right into it. Theon and Yara struggle to make their escape from Euron Greyjoy's fleet. They are able to get away after a fierce battle, in which many ships are lost on both sides, but they must now regroup and prepare for another attack. Meanwhile, Sansa and Tyrion try to rally support for the upcoming battle against the army of the dead. They know that they need all the help they can get if they are going to stand a chance against the Lannisters and the Golden Company. Back at Winterfell, Davos is in charge of defending the castle, while Jon and his group are out fighting the Whites. He knows that it is only a matter of time before the Lannisters arrive, and he must be prepared. He organizes the defense of the castle with the help of Jorah Mormont and Tormund Johnsbane. They set up barricades and gather supplies in preparation for the siege. At the same time, Beric Dondarrion and the Brotherhood Without Banners arrive at Winterfell. They have been traveling south to warn the people of the Lannister army's approach, but they were too late. They had heard tales of the Golden Company's brutality, and they knew that the Northerners would need all the help they could get. Theon and Yara arrive back at Winterfell with a small fleet of ships. They had barely escaped Euron's fleet, but they knew that they had to get back to Winterfell as soon as possible to help defend it. As they dock their ships, they are greeted by Sansa, Tyrion, and Davos. They had been expecting Theon and Yara's return, and they were grateful to have them back. But they also knew that they needed to get ready for battle. Suddenly, a horn is sounded and the Lannister army arrives at Winterfell. They are led by Jaime Lannister, who has come to take Winterfell for Cersei. With him are the Golden Company, who have been hired by Cersei to help her conquer the Seven Kingdoms. They are a fearsome sight, and the Northerners know that they are in for a tough battle. Jaime raises his sword and gives the order to attack. The Lannister army charges forward and the battle begins. The Northerners fight bravely, but they are outnumbered and outmatched. The Lannister army is too strong and the Golden Company is too experienced. It seems like the Northerners are going to be defeated. Just when it looks like all hope is lost, Jon and his group arrive back at Winterfell. They have been fighting the Whites for days, and they are exhausted. But they know that they have to help their friends. Jon leads his group into the battle, and the tide begins to turn. The Northerners and their allies fight back against the Lannister army. The battle rages for hours, but eventually the Lannister army is defeated. Jaime Lannister is killed by Brienne of Tarth, who was originally on his side but switched over to the Northerners when she realized that Jaime was not going to win. The Golden Company is also defeated and scattered. As the dust settles, the Northerners are victorious. They have won the battle, but it has come at a great cost. Many of their best fighters are dead or wounded, and they know that they still have to face the army of the dead. Despite their victory, they are not able to rest. They must prepare for the long night and hope that they will be able to survive it. In the aftermath of the battle, Sansa and Tyrion try to rally the troops and prepare for the long night. They know that they need to be ready for anything if they are going to survive the night. As the sun sets, the temperature drops and the wind begins to howl. The army of the dead is on its way to Winterfell. The Northerners stand their ground and fight bravely against the army of the dead. They use every weapon at their disposal, including dragon glass and Valyrian steel, to fight the Whites. But the army of the dead is relentless, and eventually the Northerners are overwhelmed. The Whites break through the barricades and begin to roam the castle. As the night goes on, more and more Whites arrive, and the situation becomes desperate. Just when it looks like all hope is lost, Jon and his group arrive back at Winterfell. They have been fighting the Whites beyond the wall, and they did think that they would make it in time, but they had to try. Jon leads his group into the battle, and the tide begins to turn. Together, the Northerners and Jon's group fight back against the army of the dead. The battle rages throughout the night. But eventually, the army of the dead is defeated. As the first light of dawn arrives, the Whites are driven back, and the survivors begin to count their losses. They have won the battle, but it has come at a great cost. Many of their best fighters are dead or wounded, but they know that they must be prepared for the next battle. In the aftermath of the battle, Jon and Sansa take stock of their losses and try to figure out what to do next. They know that they need to be prepared for the next battle, but they are also mourning the loss of so many friends and allies. They must also deal with the political fallout of the battle. The Lannisters and the Golden Company have been defeated, but Cersei is still out there and she is still dangerous. Jon and Sansa know that they need to be prepared for anything. While all this is happening, Bran Stark is having visions of the past. He learns about the origins of the White Walkers and the Children of the Forest. He also learns about the origins of the Targaryens and how they came to be in charge of the Seven Kingdoms. Bran realizes that he is the key to defeating the White Walkers and ending the threat to the Seven Kingdoms. He must use his powers to help Jon and Sansa defeat the White Walkers and bring peace to the Seven Kingdoms. As the series comes to a close, we see the aftermath of the battle against the army of the dead. The survivors are left to pick up the pieces and try to rebuild their lives. Jon and Sansa are hailed as heroes, but they know that the real work is just beginning. They must deal with the political fallout of the war and try to restore order to the Seven Kingdoms. But they are also haunted by the losses they have suffered, and the scars of war will never truly go away. What did you think of the battle between the Northerners and the Lannisters? Which side were you rooting for? And what did you think of the shocking event that took place during the battle? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like for more great Game of Thrones videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.